You're watching a Facts with Fiona media production. I'm Fiona Moriarty, and this is Facts with Fiona. Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the 7th episode of Facts with Fiona Season 2. I'm your host, Fiona Moriarty. This week we had the opportunity to talk to Oscar-winning makeup artist Adrien Morot. He's the recipient of an Academy Award for his work constructing a 225-pound full-body prosthetic, transforming Brendan Fraser from head to toe in The Whale. We caught up with him at the 38th Annual Santa Barbara International Film Festival, where he was honored with the Variety Artisans Award. Morot talked working with fellow Canadian, Fraser, and the tedious process of designing the prosthetic just off of a digital scan of Fraser's head. Let's go to our conversation with Morot. We are with Adrien Morot from The Whale. I know you did all the makeup and all the, prosthetics for The Whale. How was it designing a 20-pound prosthetic and applying that every day to Brendan Fraser?
It was more like 225 pounds. Yes. How was it? It was a crazy challenge. How do you do makeup like that? That doesn't attract attention to itself. That doesn't look like prosthetics. Hopefully, where the actor is covered from head to the tip of his toe in prosthetics and not attract, like I said, not inhibit his performance, where you only see the character and you forget that he's wearing that much prosthetic. It was kind of challenging, and it's just, I guess it's years of experience that led us to this.
Congratulations on being nominated for an Oscar. How does it feel?
That's amazing. Like, you don't do this kind of job for the accolades. At least I don't do it for accolades, but you do it for the challenge on the moment, during the moment of the creation of the movie. But when it happens like that, it's humbling to see that.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. Morot shared how he was invited to join the project by Oscar-nominated director Darren Aronofsky, and how he took on the daunting task shooting it in just 5 weeks at the start of the pandemic.
The first thing was Darren gave me a call and told me that we were right at the beginning of the pandemic. And Darren always works with the same group of collaborators. Since all the movie shoots have been shut down, he told me, well, we have a golden opportunity. Our group is all free right now. Let's do a movie. I want to shoot this movie. It's small. It's a small thing based on a theater play. And I would like to shoot that in 5 weeks. And he sent me the script, and I quickly realized that not only he was talking about the main character being in full face and body prosthetics, that he was the main character of the movie, and that he was basically there in every scene in a small set where he's in a single apartment. So I realized the task on hand, and I begged him not to give us 5 weeks.
Morot shared the process behind the 225-pound full-body prosthetic and revealed that he couldn't have made it without the help of technology and 3D printing.
That was another thing that was very frightening, because normally the way you do those kind of makeups is that you have the actor coming to the shop and you do either a full-body live cast or like a head cast as well, and you work from copies of their body with clay on top of it, and you sculpt the appliances like that, and then you do molds. Since everybody was very worried at the beginning of the pandemic, and we didn't have access to Brendan, I was like, how are we going to do this? They didn't want to send Brendan to our shop to do live cast, and in the past 5-6 years we've been experimenting with 3D printing technologies. So, and we did a bunch of tests, in-house tests, that were really successful at doing prosthetics that would be not only very realistic, but that would also blend into the skin in ways that is almost unobtainable with traditional manners of doing prosthetics. But we still had a few things to tweak, and I was very afraid of using it on a real movie until we fixed those things. The Whale came around, and since I've worked 5 times with Darren before, I was like, well, if we screw up, he might forgive me and maybe hire me again in the future. So that's how we did it. We did it completely as a digital process, which was, I think, one of the first time being done like that.
Morot said that he spent 12 weeks designing and prototyping the prosthetic and admitted that he didn't exactly know if it was going to work since he didn't see Brendan until filming started.
And the first time you do it, like you work in your shop for, in this case, we had 12 weeks to build it, so about 3 months. And you work in your shop, and basically what you're doing is you're doing prototyping. You don't know if it's going to work, and you go on set and you cross your fingers that, and by the end of the shoot, you're like, either it worked, or most of the time you're like, well, I wish I would have done it differently. And until the moment you glue it onto the actor's face and on his body, and the actor starts acting with it, it's just inert pieces of rubber. It's like as much as you're creating all sorts of details, you do like the pores and capillaries, and you punch in every hair like of the beard and on his body. It's just pieces of rubber. So when you glue it on the actor's face, and you have an actor that's as brilliant as Brendan is, and then you see it, you put him in front of the camera, and it just comes to life. It's not only a sigh of relief, you're like, Jesus, whew. But you're also like amazed that what you've created is just like alive all of a sudden. It becomes a character that was written on the page.
Morot even recalled that the first time they fitted Fraser into the prosthetic and finished his makeup, it took 7 hours.
Well, it's a long process, obviously. First time we did the makeup, it took 7 hours. Even if you glue on the pieces, even if pieces were designed, let's say, to go right underneath his eye bags, or like on the side of his temple, it's just the weight of the pieces make it that it's gonna drag down a little bit. So you need to adjust like that, and then you need to adjust the color temperature of the skin tone so that it's in harmony with the color palette that the DOP is choosing on a set. So it took 7 hours for doing all those adjustments, but as we did it day after day after day, we got it down to 2 hours 45.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Facts with Fiona. Before you go, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And for more behind-the-scenes footage of the show, visit us at factswithfiona.com and follow me at Fiona Moriarty on Instagram and Facts with Fiona on Twitter. See you next week.